Welcome to my home studio. I'm about to make a recording, the first of the semester for one of my classes. This is an introduction to organic chemistry. I've got all the equipment ready to go. I've got my pen and tablet here. This is a Wacom Intuos 4. You can't buy these anymore, unfortunately, but they sell professional versions still, of course. Stylus is there. This is a Blue Yeti microphone. I really like this. It's set on a shock mount. It's got a pop filter on it too. It has really good sound quality. So remember, you got to have good audio too, in addition to good video. Essential. I've got my computer screen. I've got the notes up and ready to go. I'm going to fire up the first software program, which is called ScreenFlow. This is the one that records the screen. I'm going to go ahead and start this right away. I've got the settings to iMac. It's going to record that screen. And I'm going to record audio from the Blue Yeti microphone. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to count down, and that's going to start. What else do I need? I need also my Ink2Go program, so I'm going to fire that up too. And that's my drawing app, so that allows me to draw on anything on the screen. So those two things are essential. Got my notes, and here we go. All right. Oh, one more thing too. I'm setting up for a green screen too, so this is my green screen method. I don't normally do green screening. I normally don't even put myself in the videos. I just don't like that approach, but a lot of people do that approach. And there's some interesting things that are happening on YouTube right now in regard to green screening, but it's kind of cool when you do it. So I can put myself in the screen with any background that I want to, green, red, blue, yellow, whatever I want to do. But of course you can't wear green when you do green screening, otherwise you'll turn invisible. So that's the only catch. Okay, so let's fire up this presentation. Welcome to Organic Chemistry. This is a brief introduction to organic chemistry. We're going to define what it is. And the notes contained within this chapter, this section, are based on Wade. So the first couple of chapters, you might want to read those when you get a chance. But that's your textbook Wade. So this is Introduction to Organic Chemistry. It's a subject that I really enjoy, so we're going to have a good year. A brief introduction to skeletal structures. I'm not ready to do a full-blown treatment yet. But anytime you see a vertex, like one of these skeletal structures, that's what they're called, the vertex represents a carbon. So we don't write the symbol, the chemical symbol for carbon when it is a carbon. But everything that's not carbon, like oxygen, here's a nitrogen right here, we still have to write those element symbols. So if it's not carbon, you got to write it. And notice that the hydrogens are distinctly absent in most of the carbons. So the way you deal with the hydrogens is you got to remember that carbon makes four. Okay, so I'm recording again. So here's the video that I just did. This is an introduction to organic chemistry. So I'm going to process this now. First thing I'm going to do is export it. And what I like to do is, first of all, give it a decent name. I'm going to store it on one of my, I got to turn on my external hard drives here for a second. Let them fire up. So when you do video work, you got to have a lot of storage, storage. So I've got these external drives that I have. They're G drive and they're USB 3.0. Don't try to use USB 2.0. It's way too slow for video work. It won't work. You'll be frustrated. So it looks like they're online now. So I should be able to get into them now. Let's see. I save the exports onto this drive, which is called G drive, teaching, Chem 70. Intro to OChem. I already did one previously, but I'm going to redo it here. So open, and we'll just call this, we'll give it a name. Intro 2. All right, so some of the other settings that I need to show you. Customize, I already have it the way I want it set. So I wanted it at 30 frames per second. I want, yeah, all this other stuff I leave as is. You can increase the audio sample rate to 48 kilohertz for a higher quality, but I don't do that. I just leave it at that. So it's fine the way it is. This is the important one to figure out. So this is scale by, in this case, it's asking to scale by 50%. In the past, I would have scaled this 75% because I wanted 1080p resolution directly. I have a new system for doing my notes, so it requires that I do 100% resolution, and then I just simply crop a 1080 crop on the screen of what I want. It's hard to explain, but I need 100%. So it takes a little bit longer to render this, but that's what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and export that, and I'm not going to make you wait through this. Jeopardy theme song plays here. It's going to take a while because there's a lot of processing to export it as an MP4 file. Oh, by the way, too, I'm exporting from ScreenFlow as an MP4 file. ScreenFlow has its own native file format, but I never save it that way. I don't even bother to save it that way. I just export it right away. And I export it as MP4, which Final Cut Pro can easily work up MP4 video footage. I'm going to show you that in just a second. All right, so I'm going to fire up Final Cut Pro while I'm waiting for this export. Okay, so I've got Final Cut Pro open. I'm still waiting for the export to complete, but I'm going to go ahead and start the next project. Let's see. I don't know if I've already started something here. Looking for my Chem 70. Yeah. Okay, so Chem 70 is a library that I created. I normally name the libraries by, well, let me show you how to start a library. So you say File, New, and then Library. I normally start new libraries for every block of screencast that's associated with an exam. That's just the way I do it. I don't think that's necessarily the best way or the worst way to do it, but that's what I do. So I would choose library. I would say the name of my class, Chem 70 Exam 1, and then there's several screencasts that are in that library. So I don't need to do that. I've already done that for the first exam. Second thing I would have done is I would have said new event. So the new event is the new screencast that I just completed. It's called Introduction to Organic Chemistry. I've already done that. It's right here. And then within that event, I would say new project. Okay. It's really confusing the way it works in Final Cut Pro. I don't know why they designed it this way. I don't like the way they've done this, but it is what it is. So in the past, it was totally done differently. Everything was done by project first and then event, but it seems to be reversed now. So I don't know. You'll have to ask Apple why they do that. All right, so I've already got this project created, and I've already imported a video, but I didn't like that one, so I'm going to I just completed a new video, and that's what you just saw, and I'm going to import that, but I don't think it's done exporting yet, so let me check. Yeah, it's not done exporting yet, so I'm going to have to take another pause here and wait for this to export before I can import it into Final Cut Pro. Okay, my recording finally finished. I had to wait a long time. Now that I'm exporting in full resolution, it just takes longer and longer to export. So I'm back in Final Cut Pro. I think I talked about creating a new project, but I'm going to rename this really quickly. This should be called Introduction to Organic Chemistry. Okay, so the project is, how can I explain the differences between all these things? I already mentioned library, event, and project. Library is just like it sounds. It's a library, so there's several projects contained within libraries. This is the only project that exists in this library. This project happens to be my standard set of conditions here, or settings, 1080p, which is the resolution that I always upload to YouTube as. I think 1080p is probably the standard these days. Most people in their homes have 1080p television sets. 4K is the newest technology, but not a whole lot of people have that. Although it does look probably pretty nice on computer screens, which are typically higher resolution. But all my equipment is 1080p. That's what I'm stuck with. And the frame rate is 30 frames per second. I'm not sure that YouTube can support anything higher than 30 these days, but probably 60 frames per second is on the horizon. Sound is, well, set to 48 kilohertz, and that's fine. All right, so this is the first event that I had. This is a recording I did some time ago, but I didn't like it. I had to adjust some things. So I'm going to import the brand new recording that I just did. I got to find it on my hard drive. It's under, let's see, Teaching, Chem 70. And this is the second one, the one I just did today. So I'm going to import that. All these settings off to the right here, I just keep as is. And notice that it just popped up. It's got the correct date here. It's August 11th, I hope. And now this is an old project right here, and I want to open up this project. So I've already put some stuff on here, but I'm going to delete this because that was the video I didn't like, and so I'm going to redo this. Okay, so this is where you put all the clips down here. This is where you edit the clips. And it's magnetic, which is kind of cool. That's kind of an Apple invention, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm going to just drag this down here, and it magnetically adheres. And this graph that you see here is the audio, and it looks like it was a wee bit loud, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit, the audio, so that it's not quite as loud. Well, that's too soft. Let me turn that back up. So you want it to peak a little bit once in a while, so some yellows there, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so that's that should be pretty good. Let's see what else with the audio. I think stereo's fine. I'm going to take a quick listen real quick. I don't have my stereo on, so that's why we can't hear it. It's turning on right now.
And that's my drawing app, so that allows me.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right, so I've got the video pasted here. Now, since I recorded at full resolution, but this is actually a 1080p project, which means that the resolution that I recorded at is bigger than what I want to export as. So I need to grab this part of the screen. Now, most of the time, if you're just recording PowerPoint and Keynote, you are not going to have to do the step that I'm doing here, so don't even sweat this. This is something only I have to do. It's based on my new node system. So what I need to do is do what's known as cropping. All right, let's see. How am I going to do this? I'm going to do this first. Again, you don't have to worry about this in any way. Spatial conform, I need to say none. And then what I need to do is I need to move this video, and I've got this saved in a different program. What I need to move it to, let's see, 258. And then -64. Okay, so that positions my slide perfectly for what I need. In fact, I'm gonna do that -63, I think. Okay, that's perfect. -63, 258, and you can see now that my slide is perfectly positioned. All right, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put just a copyright thing. I mean, you don't have to do this. This is totally optional, but I'm gonna put this little text screen on top here. Now, this is something I created in a different program. I created this in Apple Motion. I drew the pictures, and it's set up as what's known as a title. I got to make it a little bit bigger so I can see it. And what I can do is change this to Introduction to Organic Chemistry. No, I didn't want to do that. Thank you, undo button. This is kind of a pain in the butt to modify this. Sometimes it's slow, and you never know where the cursor is, and I got to fix this one too. Let's see. It is now 2015. And of course, it's too low right now, so I need to move it up a little bit so you can... I forgot what my settings are. I think X is -15. I want to say Y is 30. I created these little things a long time ago. That's why they're not perfectly positioned, but now they're there, and I'm going to make this copyright message the whole width of the video, of course. All right, so what else do I need to do? I want to make sure that I have just the introduction part and nothing else, because I think I was talking to out there. Let's try this.
Welcome to Organic Chemistry.
Yep. Okay. Let's see if I started over there.
A brief introduction to organic chemistry. We're going to define what it is, and the notes contained within this chapter, this section, are based on Wade. So the first couple of introductory topics. So what is it?
Okay. Yeah, we're good. So that's the very beginning of the screencast. I've got the title all in there, and this is just another little extra here. I'm going to put in this little outro message at the end. That's kind of something also that I created. It's just a picture that I did. And I need to adjust this because the end is right there. That's about all I do in Final Cut Pro. I mean, this is just the basics. So this is the very first screencast that I'm making for the semester. And that's, let's see, this should be... I gotta fix this too. Oh, this thing is so frustrating to work with sometimes. The cursor jumps all over the place. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's it. I'm happy with this. Now, older versions of Final Cut Pro would make you wait till the whole thing rendered first. So let me open this up. I am going to wait for it to transcode and analyze before I upload. So I'm gonna stop the rendering process because we don't need that for exporting these days. The older version of Final Cut Pro that I had made you wait for the transcoding and the rendering. That's not the case anymore. So I'm going to pause this screencast again, wait for this to fully transcode. Transcoding, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I used a different software program to record the screen, of course. That was ScreenFlow, and by the time I imported it into Final Cut Pro, I think what transcoding is just making it in a different file format so that Final Cut Pro can edit it a little more efficiently, I think is what transcoding is. But it's also looking at the audio too. But anyways, I'm going to pause this recording. We're going to pick up where I left off. Okay, so the transcoding is now complete, and the last thing I have to do is just simply export it to YouTube. So Final Cut Pro has some nice features for doing that. You just simply say share YouTube. I've already put in my account information. Let's see, info, settings, 1080p, that's exactly what I want. I want better quality. You can do faster encode if you're in a hurry, but I always prefer better quality. Privacy, it's unlisted. I don't like this being public. That's just me. And so what happens is I just simply embed it on my website, and that way anybody can watch it who's a student in my class and knows where to look. Yeah, that's my account information. So next, and publish. And now you just wait for the upload. Once the upload is complete, then I go to YouTube and usually disable comments and some other things that I'll show you in just a second. All right, so I didn't wait for my video to upload, so I figured I'd just come into my YouTube channel and just show you how to do this on a different video. So I've already logged in as the digital chemistry instructor. That's kind of my handle that I use, although it says Matt Evans right here. That's one of the, I don't know, understand how YouTube works. I just somehow make it work. What I do though is I go to Video Manager. Once it's uploaded, you're going to see all my, I see all my videos here. So this is one that I tried to upload the other day. So the only thing I do here is I say edit, info, and settings. Personally, and this is just a matter of preference, I personally prefer to go to advanced settings and turn off. So this is initially set to allow comments. I'm going to turn this off. That's just me. You don't have to do that. And I'm going to double check my privacy settings. I allow all that stuff. Save changes. Let's see, basic info. If I forgot, you can put anything you want to in here. You can put some tags in there. But since I'm unlisted anyways, it makes no sense to put some tags in there because my students know how to find me anyhow. I also add to playlists. So I created these playlists some time ago. And again, they're based on exam material. So these will lump all the screencasts that are relevant for Exam 5, let's say for Chem 71, into one grouping or whatever, and that way they can watch all of them, or at least quickly be able to tell which screencasts are important for a particular exam. So, all right, so that's the YouTube stuff. And later, what I do is I go to the video itself and I click on share, and then I say embed, and I just put it right on my website. I think with Canvas you can also probably do that. Mark Blazer and I were looking at HTML editing. It seems like it's pretty powerful, the HTML editing, so you could probably embed YouTube videos no problem, I'm sure. So anyways, that's how I do screencasts.